Hi friends, we're back for another matcha taste test video. This is perhaps the most exciting episode yet because today we are going to be trying my own matcha brand, Frauth Matcha. This is one of my most frequently asked questions. What is the difference between the two blends? So we offer two different varieties, a Yama Matcha and a Shima Matcha. So today we're going to try both together. I'll share the differences between the two and hopefully it'll help you make a decision if you are torn between which matcha is best suited for you. Obviously this is my own brand, but as always, I will share my honest feedback and thoughts. And if you're familiar with my matcha taste test episodes, you know what I look for in a good matcha and things that I keep top of mind. Without further ado, let's get into it. We'll start by discussing the differences between the two, and then we'll go straight into a taste test. We're gonna start off with the Shima Matcha. This one comes in at $38. It is slightly less expensive than the Yama Matcha. This one is grown in Kyushu, so Shima actually means island in Japanese, which is why we picked that name because it represents the island of Kyushu where it's grown. It is a ceremonial grade matcha, and it is also organic. We ended up going with organic because we feel like that's something that in America is really valued by people and especially by consumers. If you're not familiar with my take on whether or not organic matcha is important, I have some older videos on that on my Instagram and my TikTok. That being said, this one happens to also be organic, so we went with it because why not? The Shima Matcha is a blend actually, so it's a mix between a Yabukita and Samidori cultivar. I'll actually make a video on the differences between the cultivars soon because I realize that's not something that I've covered before. The box does say single cultivar, but this is just a little typo. We are dealing with a lot of hiccups as a small brand and a new business, but this one is a blend. So let's open it up and see what the color looks like and give it a taste. This is what the tin looks like. So this one has the green sticker on the front and the pink on top. The Yama Matcha has the alternate with the pink on the front and green on top, so that's one way to figure it out. And I've already decanted the matcha into the container. This one is quite a nice green. It's pretty vibrant and it's very smooth, so you can actually feel it between your fingers too when you give it a little swatch. And as always, we are going to prepare a serving of the matcha. We're actually gonna try it solo so that we can really pick up on all the flavors and the notes. This is, I would say, the best way to really get the feel for what a matcha tastes like. And just to make it extra precise today, we're gonna measure it out. I'm gonna go for about 3 grams, and we'll add our hot water. It's funny, I feel like with this matcha specifically, the color comes out a lot more when you're adding it to the water and whisking. But both of them are very smooth, very creamy mouthfeel. You'll never feel a grittiness in your mouth. That's something that I always look for in a matcha. It smells really good. This one does have slight vegetal notes. Smells really good. Really nice and fragrant actually, like it smells great. This matcha I would say is a great entry-level matcha, a great place to start if you're new to it and kind of like an everyday drinker. This one is really delicious as a latte, but we are, as always, gonna try it Americano first, just so we can really pick up on all the notes. We'll just top it off with some water. Hopefully you guys can get a good look at that color. It's really beautiful. This has such a creamy mouthfeel when you're drinking it. And there's no bitterness really, but there is a nice lingering flavor in the mouth. I love this one because I feel like it pairs really nicely in mixed drinks and lattes and things like that, but it is also delicious just served like this, especially in the summer. If this is your first adventure into matcha, I would say start with this blend. To be fair, I like both of the matchas and both of them are up to my standard and delicious. We just have 2 varieties because one is slightly more rare, and I'll explain the differences between the two because we're gonna go into that one next. So next up, we're gonna try the Yama Matcha. This one is our hyper premium, super rare, or I guess most premium matcha that we offer, and this one comes in at $45. This matcha is grown in a different area. It's grown in a mountainous region of Shizuoka, which is why we call it the Yama blend, because Yama means mountain in Japanese. And we have a fresh tin, so we're gonna open this one right now. Ooh, smells so good. So this one obviously has an even more beautiful and vibrant color than our Shima Matcha because it is truly for the matcha lover, for someone who really enjoys specialty matcha. And this is a single origin, single cultivar Okumidori tea. And Okumidori tea is considered to be some of the finest, most rare tea. It's creamy, it's nutty, it's floral a little bit with some grassy end notes. Oh, this one smells so good on its own. It almost smells like a white chocolate, a matcha white chocolate bar. Weigh this out the same amount as well. This one is a little bit bolder in flavor as well, so I'd really recommend this for drinking Americano style if you really want to taste the flavor of it, or if you're making a beautiful drink, I think this would also go well. The only difference is the flavor is going to come through a lot more. Oh, this one smells so good. It almost smells like peanut butter to me. Like, it's funny because, you know, with coffee, they often write out the notes like, oh, this one is dark chocolate, champagne, almond, strawberry. And I feel like with matcha, when you have a really good quality matcha, you can actually pick up on those notes. And when I tasted these for the first time, I was like, wow, I can really actually feel that peanut buttery, creamy flavor. You can even smell it. So nice. This one does have a little bit of that umami flavor to it, but it's not too much. And now let's try it over ice. Oh, stunning. So you can see this green is so vivid, it's almost like borderline neon. And compared to the Shima, which is over here, it is a little more vibrant and bold. Both are quite beautiful, but this one is just slightly more vibrant and green, almost like a jade emerald color. And this one is a little bit milder and lighter. And I would say flavor-wise, you can expect kind of the same. This one is a little bit stronger, bolder, more flavorful. This one's slightly lighter. Let's give her a try, our Yama Matcha. This one is so flavorful immediately. This is also what we were serving at our Frauth pop-up this past Saturday. So it does work amazingly in lattes or Americano style, but I say to really enjoy this matcha, having it on its own is a really beautiful experience because you can really taste the full body of the matcha. This matcha is also organic for the same reasons. We just went with the best possible organic option we could find so that it kind of checks the boxes for everyone who's interested. So comparing the two, I honestly feel like in person, you can't tell too much of a difference unless you're really paying attention. This one is definitely a little bit more vibrant in color. But that being said, I think it really speaks to the fact that both of them are really great matchas. We just have an option that is a little more premium because it is slightly more expensive, and then something that's a little bit more affordable for the everyday drinker if you're trying to drink matcha that's really good, but also on a budget. The biggest difference, I would say, are the growing regions, and growing region plays a really big part in the actual flavor profile of the tea itself. So for obvious reasons, they taste slightly different in that way, and the drinking experience is also very different. I think the best way to differentiate between the two or decide if you're having trouble picking one would be, number one, the price. Are you kind of an everyday matcha drinker, someone who maybe leans on it more for the caffeine and enjoys just like a quick energy boost, or are you someone who really enjoys a fine tea and sips slowly and wants to kind of taste all the notes that are present in the matcha? Another great way to decide is the way that you drink your matcha. If you're a big Americano drinker and you prefer something light and refreshing, then you may want to go with the Shima. But if you prefer something that really has a nice bold flavor on its own, I'm imagining kind of like a cold brew, like a really bold flavor, then I would definitely go with the Yama Matcha. If you're somebody that enjoys mixed drinks, like you like to sweeten your matcha, you like to add fun flavors, I think the Shima is a little bit more affordable to play around with in that way, whereas the Yama Matcha will also do well and it will almost come through more flavor-wise with the matcha, but of course it is a little pricier and hyper premium, so this is something that I like to enjoy more on its own, so I could really appreciate it for what it is. Another fun way to figure it out is just to grab both and then do your own little taste test at home, because as I always say, taste is so subjective and everybody's preference when it comes to matcha is so vastly different. But I think it's safe to say that you can't go wrong with either. So if you're torn between the two, just know that whatever choice you've made is a good choice and you'll be in good hands. I think that's kind of all there is to say about the matchas. If you have more specific questions, please feel free to leave them in the comments below. I will do my best to share more information about these two teas as much as possible going forward. And if you're not already following the Frauth Matcha page, you can follow us on Instagram at Frauth. That is where we'll be updating things when we have new drops, any new information, pop-ups and things like that. I hope you guys enjoyed this taste test. This was so fun. Like, I can't believe we're trying my matcha. Crazy. Thank you guys so much for the support already. It's been incredibly overwhelming and I'm so grateful and so happy that you guys are enjoying. We hope to do some more pop-ups soon. I think we'll be doing one in New York City soon, so stay tuned for that. And until then, I hope you guys enjoyed this video and I will see you in another one soon. Bye.